Alright lads, so Bleach Soul Resonance currently has access to 4 different typings: Slash, Strike, Spirit, and also Thrust. But what if I told you that a 5th typing is potentially on its way, and today we're going to ask the question why, when, and also what could this typing potentially be? What does it mean for the game going forwards? So firstly, let's answer the quick question, why would this game add a new typing? Well, ultimately, it's to expand the possibilities for new characters. As of right now, with only 4 typings, and specifically only having 3 roles, Tactic, Full Assault, and also Support, there are only so many possibilities, different combinations that we can get into this game. Assuming every new limited character release was a different class and also role, a Slash Tactic, then a Slash Support, then a Strike Full Assault, Tactic Support, etc. For the most part, we would take around 8 months for us to get a new limited character in each typing. And at that point, let's say you are someone that somehow managed to keep up with every new character release. Once you have a team set for every team, including a good character in each role, you're then going to ask yourself, why would you want to summon for those new characters? Now, ultimately, it's a Bleach gacha game. You're likely going to pull for a character you like. Using Grimmjow as an example, I want Grimmjow because I like Grimmjow, but I'm more excited for him because alongside liking the character, I also do want to maximize my potential teams, and I'm in need of new strike units. So when you are a fan of a new character coming up, but they also fulfill a role and a typing that you just need, it does add more excitement to that character's release. So with a new 5th typing coming our way, it's going to be in a way a similar situation we saw with Toshiro, where, you don't have access to any character of that typing. And if new content is designed around that new typing, so right now, for example, let's come up with an idea ourselves. I suggest a Pierce typing. If I was to go up against Pierce type content, I'm not going to have any character for that. Now, I'm likely going to rely on my just strongest characters. But again, the big reason why Toshiro's release was a big deal, despite him not being like super crazy, is that the alternative options were just not there. If you didn't have Toshiro, likely you're going to have to use the SR Uru. And then likewise the same with Aizen. If you wanted Toshiro to be good, if you wanted to have the best spirit team, you had to summon for this character. Fortunately, Aizen is Aizen. He's good in every team. But like I said, this game only has so many roles and also typings that eventually it was only going to be a matter of time before we do get a new typing. And that's not even the first time this has happened. For those that don't know, when the game was originally released in its pre-alpha state around 2 to 3 years ago, there was only 3 typings: Slash, Spirit, and also Thrust. So only 3 typings. Strike was actually the newest typing, and that might be also the big reason why you might feel that Strike is not really that worked on, because it was the newest typing. For the most part, every character stayed the same typing and role, right? Kenpachi originally was a Slash Full Assault, Ichigo was a Slash Full Assault. The only character that did change was Kisuke. He was actually the same character, but he was a spirit character. At the time, Yoruichi wasn't in the game. At the time, Sergeant wasn't in the game. So soon after that, pre-alpha test ended, Yoruichi and Sergeant were the first 2 characters that were created. Then also Toshiro. So that's why, before we did get this leak around 2 or so days ago, right, I wasn't even surprised that a new typing would be on its way, because it just makes sense. Plus, the way most gacha games do work as well is that there are 5 typings. Using Brave Souls as an example, we have Power, Speed, Technique, Mind, and also Heart. 5 typings is usually the standard, and those games that don't have that 5th typing, over time, they usually do add one. I believe Grand Cross did the same, and I believe even Honkai Star Rail, a game that this is kind of inspired by, more so Hoyoverse games, more so ZZZ, right? But Honkai did add a new typing, and again, it's a big idea for the company itself to do that, because it's a whole new possibility of characters, a whole team that no one has access to, and that means, sales are gonna go up. That's kind of the idea. So while on that topic, while this isn't really announced, there's no leak regarding a new class, I would also like to see a new class in this game. I think that's, for this game to last a long time, I really do feel like they need to expand on the typings. Maybe 1 typing, 2 at max to be added, but I would love to see new classes come to the game. Now, I just thought of that idea during this video, so I really can't tell you what typing I would like to see. Right now, the characters themselves are very straightforward. We have tactic units that have backline, battlefield skills. Full Assault are characters that want to deal the most damage. They're the ones that get more often than not the biggest presence on the field. And then support characters just support your teammates and debuff the enemies. There's always a possibility in the future that we do get access to a, new type of class, but I'm not sure how that would work in a game where there are 3 characters in a team, because this is kind of perfect. Every team must have a tactic, full assault, and also support. But for a new typing, when could we actually expect that? Given that it was leaked, it might be a very long time before we do see a new typing in this game. So Resident right now is in a very weird situation where we get a lot of leaks. And, you know, we already know about the ongoing IP issues the game is currently facing with Shueisha, just being super stingy on what the game can and can't do. For some reason, a lot of that is public knowledge. And likewise, I'm going to assume this new typing that is eventually going to come our way is also leaked months ahead of time. So I don't expect this to be this new typing anytime soon, because we are still at the start of the game, and we're still waiting to get other characters in other roles. You know, we're still waiting for Grimjow, the full assault strike unit. Eventually, we're going to need to get a new tactic unit in every typing. Strike, slash, thrust. And then eventually, what I'm most curious about is an SSR limited character that's a support unit that isn't Kisuke. Because Kisuke right now is really good, but he is also, he's a general support character. Yes, he does also buff slash characters, but I'm very curious to see what they are going to do to replace Kisuke, right? Because right now, the support units that we have been getting are SR units, so by default, they're good, their own particular team, but Kisuke is just better. It's kind of like a Gojo thing. It's like, they're good, but Kisuke's better. So I'm very curious to see the game's take on a new support unit that is in a way going to replace Kisuke for that respective team. I don't expect us to get a support unit that's going to, you know, gap Kisuke and go into every team. But I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if we get a new slash support that just gives crazy slash buffs, but only to slash characters. That way, you know, they're still really good, but also super restricted to that team. That way Kisuke still has that usability as a support character in every typing you want to use him in. But as for this new typing, again, right now I suggest Pierce. I've seen a Hollow thrown around quite a lot, to be fair. And I like the idea of it, having a typing that, you know, is unique to Bleach itself. I'm not sure how that would work, as it would be, I don't want this typing to be super restrictive to just a certain selection of characters. It should just be any character has the possibility of being that new typing. And I guess the question would be now, when could we expect that new typing? I think if anything, maybe the half anniversary. So let's say 4 months from now. That's quite early, to be fair. I don't know if that's the best time to release a new typing. Maybe do it during the 1-year anniversary. It should be saved for a big celebration and also a big character release. And again, maybe if the assumption right now is that Full Hollow Ichigo will be the half anniversary character, that's the leading theory. There's no reason to believe that, but that's what most of us do believe. Just for the sake of hype. Right now, it is kind of leaked that Ichigo, Full Hollow, is a slash type character. So again, that's the thing, right? Where we already have Kenpachi, we have Ichigo. If I already have these characters, why would I want that new Full Hollow Ichigo? That's the reason why this game would like to add a new typing, right? Especially during a big character, that way you're more inclined to summon for it, other than the fact that you like the character. Because obviously, Full Hollow Ichigo, even if he was a slash full assault character, I speak for everyone, hopefully, that we would summon for it. Because it's Full Hollow Ichigo. And likely, you know, power creep does exist. We saw it with Kenpachi, especially now that Kenpachi's been buffed. I did mention in my video the other day, maybe that does set a bad precedent that every new character, and is it even that big of a deal? I don't know. Don't think so. That every new character has to be better than the last one. So if we were to get a Full Hollow Ichigo that was a slash character, likely he is going to be better than whatever current best slash full assault character exists at the time. Likely, maybe Kenpachi still. But yeah, when that new typing does come out, hopefully we do get some SR characters to go alongside it. Again, they've done a pretty good job with Momo, for example. I think that's the best part about her, is that the game itself was lacking spirit characters, but they did release 2 back-to-back. A full assault character, then a tactic unit. You had to get both those characters, Aizen and Torishiro, to make a good spirit team, because if you didn't, there's basically no alternative. But fortunately, we did get a good support character. So hopefully when this new typing does come out, it does follow with a good support unit or maybe a tactic unit. I would like to see an SR tactic unit. Just some type of SR character that you can get for free to make the merge of a new team being formed a lot easier. But whenever that new typing does release, you're definitely going to want to summon for it. Because again, alternative options are going to be lacking. Hopefully by that time, most of us do have access to good teams, slash spirit, thrust, and also strike. That way, most of us are going to be ready and excited for that potential new 5th typing. What is the new typing going to be? I guess only time will tell. I'm expecting it to be purple. And again, I just thrown out the idea that maybe it could be a Pierce typing. But let me know in the comments below if you have any theories on what this 5th typing could be. I'm curious to know. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.